I wrote Seeking God Together because I am so enthusiastic about spiritual direction. Spiritual direction is actually an ancient ministry, but it's just being rediscovered, particularly in the Protestant church. It's a relationship between a spiritual director and an individual, or in my book, it's a relationship among small group members who together listen for the direction of God in one individual's life. I'm hoping that the book will be very helpful to people who are already familiar with individual spiritual direction and perhaps haven't thought about how this can work out in small groups. But I also wanted to write for people who have never heard about spiritual direction. So I start out by defining spiritual direction and talking about individual spiritual direction. And then about 7/8 of the book is how this is fleshed out in group spiritual direction. And it's very much a how-to book. I talk about how to listen, how to ask life-giving questions, how to engage with both thoughts and feelings that people have on their spiritual journey, how to engage with scripture and with prayer. I happen to think that one of the most loving things that we can do for anyone is to listen to them. Good listening is really paying attention to someone. When I introduce group spiritual direction to a group that's not familiar with this, I find myself saying over and over again, this is just an amazing, amazing privilege. That we will be meeting with 3 or 4 other people and have the opportunity just to talk about ourselves, to talk about our life and our relationship with God. And where else can you do this? And when I first met with my first spiritual director, it was just a life-changing experience. He would ask me questions and then he would be quiet and wait for me to answer. And that was very life-giving for me. Then I decided to go through a 2-year spiritual direction training program, and I became a spiritual director. Well, I really wrote the book for people who might want to be in a group and need a lot of guidance in how to get started in this. And so one way for a person to get involved in this is to read the book with 2 or 3 friends and to talk about it. The book includes a study guide at the end with, again, some open-ended, discussable questions. And so 2 or 3 or 4 people could read the book and then decide if they would like to meet for 5 or 6 times and try group spiritual direction. And hopefully by the time they've read the book, they all would be on board with where they want to go with that.